Hello everybody and welcome to this week's video lesson. We'll just kind of get into it, but today's topic is irony. Now we're going to talk about irony. What is it in the three different types of irony? And I'm going to show you guys some examples of them. So when you're in your readings, you'll be able to understand what the irony is and what type of irony is, and hopefully it'll make it easier to identify the irony. Okay, so let's get started. Let me just pull it up for you. Not that one. This one. Okay, so irony. Now, what is irony? Irony is a literary technique that portrays the difference between the appearance and the reality, expectation and result, meaning and intention. Okay, that's great and kind of confusing. Now, let's break it up a little bit. Now, okay, so irony, it's kind of like you're trying to say one thing and it's not kind of coming off quite as that. It's a way, how do I explain this, to kind of to divert like what's real versus like the meaning behind it. Let me show you some examples and I hope it'll kind of make it more clear. Okay. So again, irony just is a literary technique that portrays the difference between the appearance and the reality, expectation, result, or meaning and intention. So the appearance of it isn't just about that. It's the meaning behind it, if that makes sense. Okay, so right here we have an example. Nothing is written in stone. But you know what? True, nothing is written in stone except this right here. This is so ironic because that very statement is, in fact, written in stone. That's ironic. Or what about here? Phone out of service. Give us a call. How are you going to do that if you don't have a phone? Right here it says, learn to read, free, and then gives the number. How can you understand what that sign is saying if you can't read? That's ironic. The meaning behind it, like the appearance of it, is totally different than the meaning. Does that make sense? Now, stop tweeting. That's the headline. And right here it says, follow us on Twitter. Which is, it's ironic because, it's saying one thing, but it's really meaning something completely different. Okay, now there are three different types of irony. Again, irony is an implied discrepancy. This is a different definition to hopefully kind of give you a wider range of things to grasp on, because irony is a really tough topic to understand. Irony is an implied discrepancy between what is said and what is meant. Okay, so like we said before, like nothing is written in stone, but that very thing is written in stone. Or learn to read. Well, guess what? If you're going to see that sign, you're not going to know how to read. So it's this discrepancy between what is said and what's actually meant. Now, there are three different types of irony: verbal irony, dramatic irony, and situational irony. People also call it the irony of situation, but it is situational irony. Those two kind of go, you'll hear both. So verbal, dramatic, and situational. Now, verbal irony, is when an author says one thing and means something else. Dramatic irony is when an audience perceives something that the character in the literature does not know. Okay, so it's like, have you ever seen like scary movies and you know that one person is gonna like go into the room that's like where like the bad guy is, and you're like, no, don't go in the room. That's dramatic irony. Now, irony of situation or situational irony is a discrepancy between the expected result and the actual result. Now, I know all these are kind of like, I don't get it. I don't get it, because again, irony is really a tough thing to grasp and it's hard. But let me show you some examples that I think you're going to like. It would be great if I showed you, right? So this is an example of verbal irony. So this is when the author says one thing and means something else. Let's learn from Mean Girls, shall we?
Oh my God, I love your skirt. Where did you get it?
It was my mom's in the 80s.
Vintage. So adorable.
Thanks.
That is the ugliest skirt I've ever seen. Oh my God, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
Okay, hopefully you guys can hear. I'm going to play it one more time. I'm going to turn my volume all the way.
Oh my God, I love your skirt. Where did you get it?
It was my mom's in the 80s.
Vintage. So adorable.
Thanks.
That is the ugliest skirt I've ever seen. Oh my God, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it?
Okay. So that is verbal irony. We have the ultimate mean girl saying, oh my gosh, I love your skirt. Where did you get it? But in fact, does she love the skirt? No. And that happened to Caddy, right? Regina. That's a great example of verbal irony, and sometimes can be even used with sarcasm. You know, you're meaning one thing, but you're saying something completely else. That's verbal irony. Now, let's see an example of dramatic irony.
You have to get out of here right now or I'll call security.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I was just looking for a souvenir. My name's Lily Truscott, and I'm a huge fan. Did you just shove pie in your face?
It's not a real pie. It's, a foaming facial wash. Pie.
What's wrong with your voice?
That happens after every concert.
You give so much. I just wish Miley were here.
Miley? Who's Miley? I don't know Miley. That's a strange name.
Oh, she's my best friend.
Great. Well then, why don't you go get her?
Oh, great idea. I'll call her.
No. You know, cell phones don't really work in here. It has to do with the walls and the cement and... Okay, they must have fixed it.
Are you gonna get that?
No. I'm talking to you. That would be rude. Okay, she's not home. Well, that was weird. Why don't I just give you an autograph for her? What about me? I'm the one who won.
Well, I guess I'm leaving too.
Okay.
Without even a towel as a souvenir.
Bye.
Nothing but my memories, which will fade too quickly.
All right. Here. Oh my gosh! The actual scarf you wore on the actual stage! I can't believe it! This is so...
Hey, I have a lucky bracelet just like that. I loaned it to my best friend yesterday. Of course, mine says Lily on the back. Just like that.
Ta-da!
Okay, so a bit of a throwback for sure, but that's dramatic irony because what do we know? At the very start of that show is that Miley is really Hannah Montana. So we as the audience knows, but her best friend doesn't know. So when we're kind of put in that situation and we're like, oh my gosh, she's totally going to find out. That's dramatic irony, okay? Because it's this tension building. It's this appearance, okay? It's not really what's true, right? It's what's behind it. So that's an example of dramatic irony. Now let's do situational, which is this discrepancy between the expected result and the actual result. So we're wanting one thing to happen, but then the opposite normally happens. That's situational irony. Okay, now let's watch this again. Okay, so this is situational irony or irony of situation because that squirrel was hoping to wake up the jaguars by popping the balloon, right? But that's not what happened. What happened was that guy actually laughing, which he didn't want the jaguars to wake up, that caused them to wake up, not the actual balloon popping. And that's irony of situation. Okay, so you remember, irony is this appearance. It's this discrepancy between what is said and what is meant. Okay, it's this discrepancy of the appearance between what it really means behind it. And there's verbal irony, which is the author says one thing but really means something else. Just think Mean Girls. Okay, dramatic irony, the audience knows what's going on, but the character in the literature doesn't understand that. That's dramatic irony. Think Hannah Montana. Irony of situation is discrepancy between like the expected result and the actual result. So wanting one thing to happen, but the opposite kind of happens. You could kind of think of Emperor's New Groove with that balloon popping. So that's irony in a nutshell. I know that it's a lot to grasp and it's going to be kind of hard to see in literature, but it just comes with practice. You can see, okay, well, could this have another meaning, or could this kind of be like a lie? What's really going on behind here, right? Like, let's think of something simple with literature to kind of help you. Green eggs and ham. This guy is like refuting this green eggs and ham, right? He doesn't want it. He doesn't think he'll like it, but he's never tried it. This is irony of situation because when he tries it, he's going to be like, oh, fine, I'll just try it, but you know I'm not going to like it. But in the end, he likes it. That is irony of situation. Okay, and dramatic irony, this could obviously happen like in any piece of literature because like we know what's going to happen, but the character hasn't quite gotten there yet. So look for that. And then verbal irony, it's kind of like my best thing to tell you guys is kind of look for where there would be sarcasm. Kind of try to pick that up because verbal irony and sarcasm go hand in hand. Okay, so that's my little spiel about irony for you guys. The keyword this week is Angry Birds. You like how I pick random keywords? Okay, keyword is Angry Birds. Okay, I will be available on Thursday from 1:15 to 2:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you need me, call me, text me, email me, comment on this video, and I will be here to help you. Okay, again, keyword Angry Bird. This is irony, and I hope this helps you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, awesome, fabulous day.